What's up, guys? Time to give you guys a quick update video on my training and physique, and also a quick leg workout that I did at Pato Performance. So my leg training has started to improve a little bit. My knees are much better now after a good squatting program. So it's time to start getting into more hypertrophy style training and build those quads back up to what they were. And I always like to start my leg sessions with some abductor work, the good girls and bad girls machine, just to warm up the hips, warm up the glutes, and warm up the abductors, all the sort of muscles that help stabilize the knees and the quads and make sure they're nice and warm, and also get those finer details in your physique with these sort of exercises. So I superset these two movements, so then hitting more the glutes with this one, and I aim for about 15 reps with each. The weight not too heavy, and make sure that I'm keeping the tension on the muscle the whole time. I don't try and go too far with the range of motion, which I see a lot of people do. I just try and keep it on the glutes, and I get a little bit in the quads with this exercise as well, especially in this seated position. I like to try and keep my hips, my hip flexors engaged as well. Then the next exercise that I like to go to is a lying hamstring curl. So focusing on the hamstrings at the shortened range with this movement. I find this is also a great way to help warm up the knees before going on to leg extensions and the pressing movements. So I aim to do one set, which is trying for 8 to 12 reps. This was a pretty good set here. I don't need too much weight as long as I can execute the movement with as good a form as possible. It's not really about how much I lift with this exercise, it's just about how much tension I can get on the muscle. Then my first exercise for quads in this hypertrophy style training session is leg extension, just to pre-exhaust the quads. I aim for about 12 to 15 reps. Again, not crazy heavy weights. I've got the seat right back, and I'm trying to keep my hip flexors engaged the whole time. I find that keeps my knees in a more stable position, and I just try and squeeze the teardrop at the knees with each rep. And as soon as I sort of can't reach failure, as soon as I can't perform a full rep anymore, the set is finished. Then I'll superset that with hack squats. So my next movement will be hack squats, but I like to warm up by supersetting with warm-up weights on the hack squat. That way I can sort of build up to my top working set a little bit faster. But these sets are fairly lightweight, and aiming for about 12 to 15 reps with these. And then this is my top set for hack squats. So I worked up to 4 plates with a band. It was a very light band. This machine's pretty heavy at Pato. So I already did one set on this. I was going to go a little bit heavier, but I found that this weight was just about right for me. The sort of right rep range that I was looking for. And this was my second working set for this workout. As you can see, I don't go too far down anymore. I just to keep my knees a little bit safer. I find if I can just keep the tension on the muscle, I won't have any aches and pains after the workout. But that was my main working set for this workout. And then my next movement is just a leg press, the old Cybex squat press, and not using crazy heavy weights with this anymore, but just trying to keep tension on the muscle for say 15 reps, 12 to 15 reps, I find is enough to get a good pump in the quads. And again, you'll notice that the range of motion is a little bit shorter, again, just to protect my knees. I find I can get enough tension on the muscle with using that range of motion. But this is a bit of a physique update. So it's been about 12, 13, 14 weeks, I think, on TRT now since I finished my last cycle, and holding up pretty good. So I'm down to 90 kilos. I was about 94 at my biggest 3 or 4 months ago. But condition is the same. I've been I've been working a lot, so obviously I burn a lot of calories with my job, so that helps to keep me in shape. And I'm not the biggest eater anymore, so that's why it's fairly easy for me to keep in this sort of condition. And I've now been training for 24 years, so I've got a lot of muscle maturity, and I find that I can keep this sort of shape fairly easily just on so what I'm doing at the moment is 125 milligrams of test. I did add 100 milligrams of Masteron to that the last 3 or 4 weeks, which I think has helped. It helps sort of balance the estrogen a little bit more. But this is a good look. You're just using that sort of amount of drugs. Obviously, got to be happy with the physique. And it just goes to show that if you're still doing the work with the food and the training, you can hold on to a very good physique using very minimal drugs. And even if you're natural, you could probably if I had stayed natural, I probably would have been able to hold a much better physique over the years. But that is the video wrapped up. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you like the content. The next few videos will be for my cycle. It's going to get closer to spring now. I think it's been enough time waiting around and just doing the bare minimum. But I'll keep you guys posted in the coming months, and make sure you sort of follow along if you enjoy the content. Thanks, guys.